go.
All right, we're locked in. I'm going to sit on my phone the whole time.
All right.
Oh, man, we can't hear the music. That sucks.
Welcome to Word of Mouth.
Word of Mouth podcast.
If you don't like it, it's because you haven't listened.
Ooh.
All right, guys.
That's good.
As you can kind of tell here, we have a large amount of people. Oh, I can't hear that at all. Oh gosh.
That's not the noise we wanted.
Me and Jack did that one time when we tried to sell Liquid Death.
Oh, yeah.
And it was literally probably 10 minutes of us going.
That's so funny.
trying to get noises, but at the end of it, it sounded dope. We should get that for
That was a killer ad.
It was
I remember that. It was so
right
rocking.
We'll play it right here.
Okay.
Yeah, add it in post.
Yeah, you'll have to send it to me.
For sure, that's going to be in post. Guys, I'll be honest with you. We have a lot of people on the podcast, and all of our normal listeners are probably like, hey, there's more people on here than we've ever had before. 7 people. And that's because we're here live with Zion Goins is a band.
Here we are. We're just going back to Zion Goins.
So, like,
Zion Goins is a band, and we do say that, but we are just Zion Goins.
Well, we're here with the entire band. The band's name is Zion Goins.
There you go.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Okay. Take a minute. Introduce yourself.
Jake?
My name is Jacob McClendon. I was on the first episode of this podcast with a guy named Cole Edens. And it was super fun.
G, by the way. His name on my phone is Cold Edens.
Cold.
His name is Cold.
Was that on accident or on purpose?
No, I did it on purpose because he's cold.
Well,
That's
did you
true,
know that his
honestly.
girlfriend's name is Ella Hill? And if you switch those letters, she's hella ill.
Wow.
So yeah, my name's Jacob. I'm a sophomore in
like she's
college,
hella
and I play the
L,
drums
but
in this
whatever.
band.
Here comes the bit. Ready? Hi, I'm John. I play bass.
I'm John.
I'm Jacob's brother. This is my first time on WOM.
Wow, that's right.
Avid listener.
Oh, wow. Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Some may say. Yeah, exactly.
Long time listener, first time guest.
Long time.
That's all I've got. Next.
I'm Zion Goins. That's
Gunner. Zion Gunner Goins.
Zion Gunner Goins, government name. I was on the.
Are we doing government names?
No, I mean it was just a joke in the last podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've already
we're
recorded
in
an
the
episode
next-
with Zion. I don't know if that's coming out first or after this.
Okay.
We'll see.
This is not my first time on the pod, but it
Yeah.
is my second time on the pod.
Let's
There
go.
you go, Jack.
Hey, I'm Jack Sullivan.
Jej.
Jej.
I play. Yeah, you can call me Jij. I play guitar.
Spelled JHEZGSH.
Yeah,
Good
it's
shish.
E. Government name.
it's open to
Jej.
interpretation, however you feel. But yeah, this is my second rodeo, not my first, but my second, and that's all I have to say.
Let's go. Last but not least.
I'm Sam Thomas.
Sam.
First rodeo.
Yeah.
First time ever
Yeehaw.
interacting with
First
Wom?
time ever on any podcast, probably.
Wow.
So this is a
amazing.
treat.
Is
Thank
this your
you,
first
guys.
interaction with word of mouth?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
So it's
Short
an
time
honor.
listener, first time guest.
Yes, it's an honor.
You're actively
Wonderful.
listening for the first time to the
Yeah.
podcast.
I just want to coin something that was definitely my idea.
What?
Wonderful. That was
Wow.
Wonderful.
That was wonderful.
Gotcha. Jacob actually
yeah,
said
just-
it, but nobody could hear it.
Since Zion can claim it now.
Take it from him.
Have a wonderful day.
If you were to get royalties for this podcast, you would owe us money right now
Oh, true.
because we're net negative, baby.
I'll give you anything.
I actually owe Zion. No, I don't owe you money because you killed my fiddle leaf fig that I bought from
Oh my gosh, you bought
James
it from
Cole.
You foolishly bought it from somebody who got it for free,
I did.
and then
From the unnamed coffee shop.
No, wait, you didn't buy it from James Cole. You bought it from a Will Carlisle who also got it for free, and then he sold it to you, and then I just took it from you.
That's true. And it died.
Carlisle's the real snake here.
I love
Uh-oh.
that man.
Carlisle, you're a snake for that. Honestly, that's crazy that you got it for free.
Bro, what other world would you owe me money?
Oh, you did my first dance song.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you owe me like probably like 5K.
Yeah, probably
5, 10, 15, 15, 25, 35, 45.
I do custom songs for anybody who wants one. Just hit me up there.
Plug.
$5,000.
Songs for people,
They're
baby.
Like $200.
Plug.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a million different tracks we could take here. Let's pick our own adventure here. Choose your own adventure. So we're here with the 5 members of Zion Goins, and I would just love to know, what age, like when did y'all start playing music? Like why did y'all start playing music? Like I know everybody likes music, just to a certain extent, but what made you want to make music? Like what made you
As
want
an
to,
individual, not
Yeah.
yet. We'll get to the whole band thing, but
Yeah.
your personal journey.
Yeah, and even like I feel like some people who are musicians like just only cover things their whole life. Like me, like Jake saw me. I learned this freaking dope song on the ukulele the other day called "Losers" by Versace.
You guys know that TikTok sound that's like, frick, I'm not gonna be able to recreate this with my mouth, but it's like a harmonic sounding thing, and then it's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like imagine you're a '90s boy, aesthetic on Instagram reels.
It's like
Yeah.
so I roll up to Steven's house, and he's sitting on the front porch, and is it a kiwi? Does it look like a kiwi? Oh no, it's red. He has this red ukulele that looks like you buy it in on a cruise, and he was playing this song. And I was like, I have another story about Instagram Reels and Steven that's really short, and I'll tell it real quick. But he's playing this song, and I just like immediately start crying, laughing because it sounds just like the Instagram Reel. And okay, over spring break, me and Steven went to Cuba, and we were at this.
Oh my
we were at this house, and there were like birds tweeting. This is like the most chronically online thing that Steven has ever done. He was like, "Yo, those birds sound just like that TikTok."
It was like,
Oh, bro, you're
Yeah, and it was like POV. It's 2006, and you're in your room and your windows open, like those kind of vibe videos.
Yeah.
It did sound similar to it, but we're in this like foreign country with this like Spanish-speaking woman. She's like talking to Steven's like, "Yo, that sounds just like Instagram."
bro. She's literally like, my family can't drink water. And you're like, this sounds just like TikTok. I worked with this girl who, it was constant, and it was just famous songs, just like good songs.
yeah.
And every time they come on, she'd be like, "This song's from TikTok," and I was like, "No, that's just a song.
This is just Fleetwood Mac.
It's just Fleetwood Mac. It's just Earth, Wind, and Fire. And
Yeah.
like somebody remixed it. It's like I can't stand that.
It's kind of like the fast car cover by freaking.
Oh, what's
Chapman-
Chris Stapleton? Is that who
Tracy
did it?
Chapman's is the
No,
best.
it's Luke Combs.
Luke Combs, that's who
Tracy
did it.
Chapman's is the best around.
Oh, for sure.
I literally was talking to Cold Edens the other day. I've talked about this several times on this podcast. I think we actually made.
I think we
did,
actually
you did,
on
you
the
yeah.
talked
We
about
podcast.
talked about this. Yeah, I remember.
First episode.
But yeah, that made me so mad. Oh my gosh.
He's
Yeah,
like, I
Cole
actually
said
like the
Cole said the Luke Combs version was better.
Which is so
he
false.
said I didn't know that it was a cover.
people
Yeah.
don't
To be fair, a
know
lot of
that
people-
"Cover Me Up" by Morgan Wallen is a cover.
I've never listened to a single Morgan Wallen
yeah,
song.
I
That's
don't
and I'll
listen to
play the
Morgan
Jason
I
Isbell
just
version
made myself
and be like, and
super
people are
loud.
like, "It's worse."
I have a huge beef about that cover. Like anybody that pretends to like country music and like doesn't know about Jason Isbell, who my personal opinion, he's the best living songwriter.
Wow.
Wow.
Birmingham
He's
native.
right here, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Second best is Jason Isbell. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I always ask him like, hey, do you know that Morgan Wallen song "Cover Me Up"? It's like, yeah, that's by Jason Isbell. Like, I mean,
Like, what are we doing?
it's crushing. But
Sorry, we got like super
It's kind of
sidetracked.
funny.
That's
Like, when
good,
people
it's
are
good,
like,
it's good.
I love that song. Ben
Super
and the River by
Sidetrack. Shout out
Zion Goins.
Sidetrack. Today's episode is sponsored by a coffee shop in Opelika, Alabama called Sidetrack Coffee.
Thanks for
It's actually
sponsoring
not-
us.
It's not sponsored by that. It's sponsored by this art studio in the back called Backhouse.
Keep your eyes open for an announcement about something happening at Sidetrack next month.
Yeah, I think that this will be out.
This is coming out in May.
That was such a cool thing.
Hey,
to
we'll
have.
still
A
put it
month,
on
hey, a
our.
month,
We'll put it on the
a month.
podcast
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's
You'll
great.
see it there.
April 19th,
Yeah.
a month from after this, like when you're in the future, come back.
Yeah, come
to the
back
show.
in time.
Yeah. April 19th.
Okay, so music.
Music.
Jacob, do you want to begin?
We'll go short because there's a lot
Wait.
of us.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be out of town when y'all did that.
It got
moved.
It got moved 1 day earlier. Will you be in
I'll
town?
be in
1 day
town
early?
for that.
All right,
That's
great.
freaking hype.
All right,
You can
pull
come.
up then, because
You can be
we
there.
got something booked on the 20th that is like a private thing, so we had to move that.
Yeah, but it's gonna make us
What
some
is
money.
a
which is
private
cool.
thing and
Money is
like
nice.
a wedding or something?
No, it's a
It's a
it's like a
college.
college's summer send
And I
off.
think it's a college, and we don't have to play covers, which is
Huge.
baller.
What college is it?
It's
Covenant College.
Oh, dude,
No
let's
way.
go.
Yeah, it's actually pretty close
So
by.
yeah, we're like
honestly.
really close.
There's a girl at Covenant that's got a big
Yeah.
crush on Jake. So.
All
Right over there.
All right.
Where do you-
He's gonna be at the show tonight, so let's just like.
Oh, man.
For our listeners, we're recording this on March 23rd in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Shout out to my aunt and uncle who've allowed us
Jenny
to
and Kenny.
use their space, their home.
Ken and Jen.
They also fed us
Jenny and Ken.
pizza. And it
Oh,
was
that
so
pizza
nice.
was Hey, this episode's definitely sponsored in a nourishment way by Yuppies. Was that the name of it?
Loopies.
Loopies, big dog.
Loopies.
Yuppies is
Lupe
something else,
fiasco.
but
Loopies.
Oops.
next to all the yuppies up north.
All the Yuppies.
Okay, Jacob, tell us about why you like music.
All right, so my
Yo, tell us,
Why,
Yuppie.
what's the thing with music these days?
me and John grew up together.
Nice.
Stuff.
Brothers for context.
My dad plays drums. He's played drums since he was like 7, and there was always a drum kit in our house. And John kind of picked up drums like first, and then like got into bass, and he can tell more of his story. And I like picked up drums when I was like 12, and I was like, I remember like the first time I like played a beat. I was with John in our drum room, and he was playing Lithium.
By Nirvana?
Yeah, he was playing Lithium by Nirvana, and that one's like, and I was literally like, John was like, no, like you do. He was like explaining to me how you play like a kick and a snare and a hi-hat groove, and I like remember doing it, and it was like the greatest feeling in the world. And John was like, like that.
That's so
That's
cool.
And I was like, holy crap, like that is like, wow. So then I started playing, and I got super into 21 Pilots, and I like to play all their stuff,
Yo,
which is so weird.
You know what's
Which
funny?
definitely brings us into our first segment of the day,
can't hear
and
that.
that is, how has 21 Pilots influenced your music career? Because I know it
Honestly-
has for each and every one of
Honestly,
you.
a lot.
Honestly, a lot. No, and then I like started. I just like played Vessel like weekly. I'd play that whole record like weekly because it was so fire.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
On the way up here, we were talking about what questions we were going to ask, and I said it would be really funny if we referenced like, "Hey Zion, how has Nicki Minaj like influenced you
And
in
you know
your
what?
playing and singing?" And I literally said, "Hey Jacob, how has 21 Pilots influenced
That's
you?"
actually crazy.
And it's actually
No,
crazy that
literally,
it really has
influenced me,
influenced
like,
you so much.
heavy. So I put. Okay. Wait, we don't have a band anymore.
No, this is a band.
I played through Vessel a bunch, and then I started playing with a band when I was like 15, and then I was like got to like 17, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this as for my life. And then now I'm in school for music, and I play music with these cool dudes, and get to hang out with a lot of cool people.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he touched on sort of the like initial growing up portion of it with like dad having drums set up and stuff. Honestly, I would say 21 Pilots influenced me very little, except for the one time that so Jake and I, on and off over the years, have had a 2-piece project called Past Due Books, and it's
Past Due Books.
Past Due Books,
That's a
like
great name.
at the library, and we like every once in a while it's like, oh, there's a thing where they need an act to play. We'll throw some covers together. So, Jumpsuit by 21 Pilots was one of the songs we covered for one of the sets. Yeah, it was very new.
How does that one go?
Something like that. So, I mean, yeah, I've been in, I don't know, like committed to a project, like probably 3 or 4. But like as far as like groups of people that I've played with for one-off or a few shows, like probably 15 or 20. And it's like there's nothing else I'd rather do than just like I love pickup gigs as well. Like I work, I like do music and production full-time freelance right now. And I've gotten to work with some like fun industry people, and I love the like spontaneous nature of it all. But yeah, I didn't study music in school. I'm pretty much self-taught, but as there's just like I don't know. I can't see myself doing anything else, like career-wise for the rest of my life. I think it'll be what I do forever.
You found your thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And and it's not always like, oh, I just want to gig forever. Like there's so many, like the music industry is so big, and there's so many different things you can do in music. So yeah, some capacity of music forever.
Heck yeah.
Let's freaking go.
All right, well, Zion's in the bathroom, but I feel like I know a little bit about his origin story.
Yeah, go ahead and speak for him.
Yeah,
So true.
that's fair.
It
We'll
can
just do that
it'll
then.
work because he'll close and he'll kind of summarize like I've built this band and now all my best friends are all here, and that'll be a good close.
Yeah, Jack, you do you.
Yeah, I'll do me. Yeah, I was 11. I was going home from baseball practice, and I was passing.
Hey, wait, how many years did you play baseball?
Oh yeah, I played 10 years. I was a catcher.
10 years of baseball. 10 years of baseball.
That was in the 10 years.
See,
that
this is-
wasn't the 10th year.
This is the thing. This is my bone I have to pick with baseball real quick. For today's segment of me picking a bone with
I was
baseball.
gonna say this feels like in every episode.
And I think
On this episode of Baseball Sucks.
everyone in baseball catches the ball. But not everybody in baseball is like on first base. So why is like when you play first base, you're called first base? But like there should be a name. Like you should catcher shouldn't be called catcher.
You should call him what? Home base.
Like there's only one pitcher, there's only one right fielder. Shortstop doesn't really
guard.
make sense either.
You know,
Your socks are gonna catch on fire, Jake.
I don't have the answer that I think you're searching for as to the fundamentals of why a catcher is called a catcher, but I sure shoot know they catch the ball way more than anyone else is catching the ball, and so
that's
You
a
do
word.
sure shoot and know that.
I think it's a
Sure.
cornerstone role.
I guess it depends on the
being
game.
behind the plate. Yeah.
We're just gonna call him Big Dog from now on.
Big Dog Jack.
And that's why you don't ask
Big
for a
Dog, 10
nickname.
years.
And
So
that'll
true.
be a callback to my previous episode.
Yeah. Okay, anyways,
One
music.
man here with so many nicknames gets one more.
Jack just gets a
Jed
nickname
Shelley
per
Big
hang.
Dog.
Every time you hang out with him, he gets a new nickname.
I'm low maintenance. You can call me what you'd like.
Okay,
But-
what you like?
Oh, so Sam Rapp of you, and I hate it. Okay, anyway, so I was 11 years old on my way home from baseball practice, and I remember we were passing the BP, and Eddie Van Halen came on the radio, and it was a song called Eruption, which is a loud,
It
over-the-top...
kind of sounds like
Yeah,
A
it's
bit.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it was this intro to a song called You Really Got Me, and it was such a wild, over-the-top guitar solo that it got its own name and became its own song on the record. And I thought that was insanely cool, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. But I was like, I want to do that for fun. I wasn't going to make a job out of it. But I played from then on, and then I went to school for accounting, and I hated that so much that
Hey, Jack.
I was like, all right,
Hey, Jack,
hey, Myers,
how high have you counted?
at least $1 million.
wow. Congratulations.
You're very well accomplished in counting.
Yeah, I was so good at it, but I was like, this just isn't for me. Like, it's not because I wasn't good at it. I was like an extremely good.
Yeah,
accountant.
it's like you could
Humble
just
brag.
keep on counting.
I was
Like,
straight
the
at
numbers go forever.
How
so
many do you
could
want me
just
to
keep
count
going.
to? I'll do it.
You went to Merrill Lynch and you said,
Guys, can we talk about Mr. Beast's YouTube video where he
Oh,
counts
no.
to 100? No, does he count to 1 million or 100,000?
I think he did
Before
both.
he did like what he does now, it's kind of all he did.
Yeah.
He would just do live streams
He was
counting
trying
really
to
high.
he was trying to speed run to as many subscribers as possible so that he could be making money and then do other
Yeah,
stuff.
no, literally. That's like I remember when he had like 60K. Subtle flex, early Mr. Beast fan. He had like 60K, and he like would literally just post videos of him like counting things. Like
Yep.
he'd just go somewhere and be like counting 1,000 cars until I don't or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the frick?
Yeah.
Could you imagine like sitting in like 7th grade career class or whatever, and they're just like, "Hey guys, if you really want to make it, just start putting yourself on live like online streams and count to 1 million, and you'll probably be the richest person your age on planet Earth." Like that's insane to me that's how our world works.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jack, back to you.
I mean, I don't really have much more to say, but
Van Halen gotcha.
Van
You were an
Halen got
accountant,
me.
and then you were
Really
talking about
good.
the end of
When I got to my accounting internship, I was like, this is not the vibe. What if I did music? And it was the thought of like, I can't do this for 30 years. Not bashing the career. There are people that love it, and that's awesome.
Shout out Kyle Bowman.
Shout out my
Shout
dad.
out Austin Eck.
Yeah.
Shout out Jenna
Yeah.
Carlisle.
And so,
Jenna already got out of the game too, though. Yeah. She does consulting or something.
She does financial planning now.
She counted
yeah.
too high.
Yeah.
There were no more numbers.
she found all the numbers.
Yep.
It is finite.
All right.
All right, so that's why I do music now.
I don't know. You have to ask
Heck
Jenna.
yeah.
And it's pretty fun and kind of hard sometimes.
Oh,
Thanks for sharing.
That was awesome.
I actually haven't heard this from Sam yet. I'm really excited for this right now.
Yeah, so I just had a lot of fond memories growing up, like associated with listening to music. Like any family gathering, anytime that there was like a celebration happening, like holiday times and stuff like that, that is pretty heavily associated for me with like listening to music. Like
That's really cool.
and just like random times of like downtime sitting in the kitchen with my dad when everyone still had home computers and like listening on iTunes to just classic rock.
Yeah.
So I was fascinated with just listening to music a lot growing up and did like the requisite little kid piano lessons.
Let's go.
Yeah. And,
I did that too.
Well, I didn't as part of the story.
I did too. I
as-
never practiced.
Yeah, I in the same way that I treat all like school endeavors, I never did homework, which included practice in the musical world. So I stopped taking lessons in high school right before I started playing in a band for the first time with a buddy of mine, and still play with him today. And that like changed my perception of music a lot. Like I was not good at a lot of structure and like kind of classical lessons, stuff like that. And I wanted to be, and I wish that I was more so now, just from a technique standpoint. But live music, since I started doing that in high school, has been like the most fun extracurricular thing that I do, I think. So started playing with these guys a couple months ago, and it has been freaking awesome. So enjoy that a lot. Anytime that I get to play live music, it's a treat. But starting off, I was just strictly just a listener. Like I love lyrics. So yeah.
What's your thoughts on Taylor Swift?
Early albums are fire, and after I don't know, like Speak Now is just kind of just like listening to the water. Like it's there's nothing going on there for me.
Yeah, we as Walmers over here, we have active dislike of Taylor Swift, and we often talk about it.
Can I get on like a quick soapbox on that?
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah.
only
Let's
if
talk
we're
about why I
only if we're all
love
going to
her.
disagree with you.
No, it's just like music school perspective of like they're trying to teach me every day to like be successful in like the music industry. The amount of times like we talk about her is like unbelievable. Like it's actually like mind blowing how often, because I have this one professor that's like, she's a fluke, it'll never happen again, it's never happened before, like all of that. It's like that's not possible. But in other classes, it's like, yeah, like Taylor Swift. Like that's like the kind of the vibe of everything we learn. It's like, yeah, like Taylor Swift. And I've become like, I don't think I've listened to her music in like years, but like I've become so jaded to like the whole thing. I just like can't even put in. No, you guys don't disagree with me, so this is like a pointless point to make, but we all agree on this. Like I'm just like so jaded to the whole thing, and it's like doesn't even feel like she's a like musician at this point. Like she's a full like, she's a like whole industry in of herself like that, and it's like incomparable to anything.
Commercially, I think it's crazy impressive what she's done, because she is like probably the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But musically, we're not that into it.
Yeah.
So
I have my dad's calling me. I have a personal opinion where well yeah, 7 men. No, Chris Miller is the guy who mixed our album, and he loves Taylor Swift, like everything she does, and I can respect it a lot because she just like crushed it, and honestly, great job. I think what I get over is the diehard fan mentality of it, where people would, and I feel this way about any celebrity, of just like people would do anything and have been so deeply affected by someone that it's like they're their savior. I watched like this random video on Instagram of this girl who was outside of the stadium and it could hear the song.
I've seen that.
And was
she's
screaming,
like wailing,
crying on the ground, and her friends were holding her like, "What is wrong with you?"
yeah, that's
And I can't do the thing where I don't know. It's not like she's Bob Dylan or anyone from the 70s who wrote songs that like combated the evil of the world and like changed people's lives entirely. I'm like, she writes like love songs about
very
her exes,
basic love songs and breakup songs,
which they're great. You know, it's like
they're inherently relatable.
Yeah, they serve the purpose they serve. But
yeah, but I'm just like, she changed her life. How, like what? She's not.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It's not like we write stuff that's like changing anybody's life necessarily. Like I guess that's kind of the goal, but it's just I don't know. I'm just like, really, You Belong With Me changed your life.
Yeah,
which is a great song, honestly.
Zion, we went. Well, John, do you want to finish?
Oh, I just like and on a on a lighter note, I'm just like one that tends to hate anything that's like a trend. It's
very hardcore music of you.
I know, right? It's so like it's funny to hear myself say that because it's like, wow, I really sound like that guy. But anything that's like mass population is a fan. I'm like, I'm good. And so like for her to be like like on top, I don't even. This may be a personal flaw, but I haven't even like given it the time of day. I can't. Yeah. I don't think I have ever intentionally listened to a Taylor Swift song.
I haven't either.
You were like I couldn't name album names. I couldn't like nothing.
1989. Is that one of them? Red.
I had to teach one of my students how to play one of her songs recently. That was great.
Yeah. Were you like, hey, I'm going to teach you this, but then I need you to forget everything I said?
It's like her favorite song, so I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Zion, we went around and we kind of gave background. Everyone gave background to how they got into music, what they love about it, kind of thing.
Yeah. My dad plays the piano like a madman. He sings. My mom sings. All my sisters sing. So I grew up around music. My grandfather sung. My grandmother, my mama, my papa. My mama played the keys. My papa played the guitar. My uncles play like the drums, guitar, saxophone. So super musical family. And I did not want to sing ever. Grew up and my dad made me be in the choir with my sister. My sister loved to sing. And I was like, I don't want to do this, Dad. I want to break dance. So yeah, dude, classic. This is your dream, Dad. And I was like, I'm gonna be a break dancer. Thank God that didn't work out.
You got a lot of life left to live.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
That's actually
you don't know what the future holds.
That's my next thing I think we should add to the show. And
like the cardboard.
When I was 16, I saw a video of Ed Sheeran playing "You Need Me, I Don't Need You" in the live room. It was an 11-minute video, and I watched it I don't know how many times, and I was just amazed at how he could build a song and rap and sing over it and then break it back down. It's an entirely new like thing of its own. And after I watched the video, I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. So I asked for a guitar for Christmas, and that was the only thing I got for Christmas, basically. And it was an Ed Sheeran signature edition Martin.
Heck
Martin
yeah.
LX E1 or LX1E, and
which also is just a really good guitar.
It's great. Now all I play is Martins, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Except for my electric, but that's kind of how I got started. And then in the same vein, I'm like, Ed Sheeran, I don't really like his stuff anymore. But the dude can sell songs and like it's just like it's a
And
business.
sell out
It's a business.
stadiums.
He's like great at it.
Yeah.
But do I listen to any Ed Sheeran? No, never. And then he did that album where he collabed with like every person on the planet, and it was so bad.
Here's a thought.
In my opinion.
I think super popular things do serve a good purpose of getting people, like introducing people to a certain kind of culture.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
Like, if I'm going to relate it to cars or something like that, like a Ferrari is like the coolest supercar, whatever, ever, Lamborghinis, whatever. That can be kind of like your entry point, and then you realize I don't have enough money to buy a $300,000 car. So then you're like, okay, well, what can I buy? And then you can go down this rabbit hole and find a Mazda Speed 3 and be like, that's the thing, and that's John. No, but I think there is kind of a place, I guess, for musicians in that they can sometimes be introduced to music through the super popular artists, and then sometimes it doesn't go past that, and you just like music and listening to it, and that's it. And some people, it's like, whoa, they created something, and look at how big they are, and that's like a huge world, and they created this whole universe around themselves. Yeah. And then it can lead you down this whole rabbit trail where you become a singer-songwriter yourself.
Yeah, like you may not be like into like punk music, but like Olivia Rodrigo is like selling out stadiums. And like, is she like kind of watered down like girly punk music? Like, yes, but like that's kind of a gateway to like get into that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like the fact that something like that is like selling out stadiums, like that's dope. Like I think that's really cool. Like, do I listen to her music? No. Do I have friends that love her music that also have like really cool music taste? Yes. And it's like she's like an introduction to like, oh wait, Paramore. Oh wait, like heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
she is this generation's Paramore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Again, Haley Williams is like total different vibe than Olivia.
Yeah.
In the sense of like how she got started and how she is who she is now.
Yeah.
But it was just like as generations change, she is this generation.
Also, like, all these people are clearly very good at making music because otherwise they wouldn't have a massive following. So,
yeah, I think, like, my take is, like, as much as I am, like, big trend hater, big artist, whatever, like, the subgenres that we all love and the little niches that we all fit into wouldn't exist without that.
yeah.
And, like, I going back to the Olivia Rodrigo Paramore thing, I am a like avid Olivia Rodrigo fan. I think she's really cool, and like I think, did you really know? Yeah, I think her new album's fantastic, and like the marketing's great and everything. But like her, like becoming into popularity, made room for Paramore to be more niche. Sure. Maybe it's not a direct correlation, but like Paramore's album last year was my album of the year, and it's very different from everything they've ever done. It's super niche. It's not radio music.
Haley Williams' solo stuff was dope.
Oh, it's incredible.
Cinnamon?
Yeah. She has the song with American Football. That's fantastic. Like, yeah. So I don't know. I think, like, I'm a trend hater, but trends have to exist. It's for the things that I like to also exist.
It's also really easy to just be like, I don't like this person.
Yeah.
I'd be like, everybody likes this thing or that.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just be like, yeah, not for me. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm cool
I
with
think
it.
this is a great time for another generic segment of the day to kind of lead us through here. Today's segment's called Things That Just Aren't That Big of a Deal.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, I love that.
This is like one of my favorite segments. We haven't done this. I don't know if we've done this in like 8 episodes. But for me, one thing that's just not that big of a deal is the whole Taylor Swift thing. Yeah. I just don't think people think it's a big deal. The people get like really fired up over it, and I'm just like, meh. Like, I mean, someone like there. I think the middle. I think there's people that don't like music, and there's a lot of people who just kind of like generically like music, and then there's a lot of people who just like really intricate, indie music, whatever you want to call that. And I think it's about like 5% to 90% to 5%. Like I really think it's like that. So the 90% of people, they're not people who are gonna like click on suggested artists or like listen to Spotify. I mean, there how many people live in America? 300 million?
65 million.
365 million people live in America. And this is just America. We're not even talking Europe. Europe people, imagine they probably listen to Taylor Swift too. I don't know what they listen to. Just 360 people live. 360 million people live in America, and like I don't even know. There's probably 100 million people on Spotify. Like the most like Spotify playlist.
You think there's only 100 million? People?
100 million Americans on Spotify. So.
Really?
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I mean, old people aren't on Spotify.
Babies, old people.
Babies
That's
aren't
true,
on
that's
Spotify.
true,
Like,
that's
so, anyways, and the most deaf people. The most likes I've ever seen on a Spotify original playlist, which would be like step 2 of like music search, is like maybe 20 million people, and that's on like freaking Rap Caviar.
Rap Caviar.
Like, that's not
hits
even
of the week or whatever.
And Rap Caviar is only TikTok music now, which is crazy.
So sad.
Rap
not
Caviar was
Fleetwood
good
Mac.
for a while.
Yeah, it's like the hip hop
not
songs
anymore.
that after like 30 seconds you're like, I probably need to turn this song now because it's just the same 30 seconds like 4 times and then the song's over. And but anyways, I really do think that I just don't know if the Taylor Swift thing is that big of a deal. Is there anything else that y'all see in our culture, in our society that's just not that big of a deal? People make a big deal. What do you think?
I've been on a big nothing's that big of a deal kick past couple weeks.
Nothing.
Jacob said everything.
He said everything is
literally,
overrated.
The
Everything.
one I've been trying to like live into really hard is no one cares about you as much as you do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And like that, like not even like in like a you're self-centered, which like everyone is self-centered at some level, but like no one, like what you wear, what you do, who you date, anything like that, nothing is like that deep. And it's like it's so easy, like especially just like in young adult environment, I feel like to just think that everything is like everyone's gonna care about everything, and it's just not true. Like,
Yeah,
no
that's
one cares
what.
that
That's
much
what's
about
given
anything.
me the confidence to be super extroverted and talk to strangers and like all
no
that
one
kind of
cares.
stuff. Yeah, no one cares. Everyone's thinking about what people think other people are thinking about them.
Yeah.
So then when you talk to them, you kind of bring them out of that, and it's actually like an enjoyable experience for them because they get
that's a good word.
get out of their own head.
I have a single instance where I did something because I was like nothing's that deep, and I do regret it. And there's this piece of clothing that girls wear. It's called I'm talking about this and I'm probably gonna regret it because it's just gonna bring it back up into my life. But
did you send the photo of this? Like,
No, this is worse.
this is different.
there's this thing. I'm gonna be quick with this because I want other people to talk. But there's this thing called a Free People Hotshot onesie.
Yep.
It's like a sweatpant onesie that girls wear. It
Think
looks
like
pregnant women
think
wear,
like
bro.
if a Teletubby was overalls.
Think about any Mountain Brook mom who's pregnant. She's probably wearing it.
Yeah.
Like a young Mountain Brook.
So
mom.
girls wear these, and I see them around campus all the time. And I always thought, man, that looks freaking comfortable.
And to be fair,
probably
you're
is.
right on that.
No, they are. Speaking from experience, super comfortable.
From experience.
And so I have a friend named Claire. Shout out Claire for letting me wear her Free People Hotshot onesie. I was like, I'm gonna wear these to class one day. So I put it on and I wore it to class. And that was probably like midway through first semester of sophomore year. And I'm almost done with all of sophomore year. And I haven't gone a day since then that it has not been brought up to me at some level that I wore that. And that is something I said, you know, it's not that big a deal. And it was. And it changed my life. Literally every day someone brings it up to me. It's like, you remember when you wore that? You remember when we wore that thing?
That's actually really
And
funny.
day of, I had a girl come up to me and be like, hey man, I thought you were already initiated. Like I didn't know you were still doing the whole like hazing pledship stuff.
Oh.
And I was like, no, I wore this on my own accord.
That's really funny.
So
That's tough.
So sometimes my finishing statement, sometimes it is that deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I remember whenever I was a pledge. Golly, we're talking about the fraternity a lot. I should shut up. But
We talked about it last
We
time.
talked about it a lot.
The
of
episode
episodes.
with Zion
got brought up
and
at the thing a
Jack.
bit.
But-
Jack.
I was the peacock pledge because my brother was, who was the year above me in the fraternity. And so did you have to wear anything on Fridays?
Yeah, I had to. I was a part of this group.
Oh, is it the?
So we were called the J-holes. It was just every.
That is not Friday thing. Sorry, that's so paternal, but that's not
It was for me. But yeah, so everyone who had a J name had to wear
Oh yeah.
tighty whities
Yeah, that's what it
on
was.
Friday.
Yeah.
And then the guys, I hate that I'm talking about this. This is so stupid.
Hey, shout out non-Greek life homies.
I'm so sorry to everyone listening. Yeah, like
I hope
just
I
some
hope the
annoying
fact
older like brother in the fraternity would come up and be like, "Hey," and I'd be like on Ben Brown, and I'd be like, "Hey," and they'd be like, "Are you wearing them?" And I'm just like, this is so
Tidy whitey
tough.
check.
So
That's
dumb.
great.
I hope the fact that like me, Myers, Jake, and Jack were all in this fraternity. I really hope that paints it in a way that it makes more sense. Like why we did a fraternity. Like it's not a real fraternity, but the hazing in some ways was still like really freaking annoying. In that every single Friday,
But
all the
also,
pledges had
I
to wear
wish-
Friday fits.
I wish I had the personality and perspective that I have now, because now I would just think everything was stupid, and then it would be funny and just enjoyable.
Yeah.
But in the moment, you're like a
was
freshman. You
so
just met a bunch of
annoying.
strangers. You don't know anyone. They're being kind of mean to you. It is really annoying because they're making you do stuff that's really stupid.
Yeah.
For like 8 weeks. For like 8 weeks, your constant goal is to just please other people. Like that's all. That's like your whole mindset.
Yeah.
And it is like so
Always
annoying.
letting them down in some way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to wear. I was the Peacock pledge, so I had to wear this like very bright. It was like neon green tie-dye shirt that just had a huge peacock on the front of it, and I had to wear that with jorts.
That's so funny.
And, every
I was gonna
single
say, you had
Friday.
the jorts.
And like genuinely, I remember being like so embarrassed every single Friday having to wear it. It was like as soon as I think it was like noon on Friday, you were off or whatever, and as soon as noon hit, I would just like go back to my dorm and change. And I just think like in retrospect, nobody freaking cared about that at all. Like literally no one cared. And like my grandmother always said, I think I've talked about this on here, like, you know, like in your 20s you care a lot about what people think. In your 30s and 40s you stop caring about what people think, and then your 50s and 60s you realize nobody was caring at all in the first place. And like I really do think that like everybody was just like funny pledge, and they just like moved on with their life because it was like had nothing, like they didn't care about, you know. But I was just like, oh, this is top secret. Nobody knows that I'm wearing this because I'm a pledge. Everybody thinks I'm freaking stupid, and I dress dumb, and it just like didn't matter at all. Yeah, that's another one. Things that just don't matter.
I love it.
Fraternities.
I think
Fraternities.
my contribution to this conversation is things that are just not all that.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
Man,
So true.
I think so many
not that big of a
people,
deal.
yeah, so many people spend their whole life trying to get a lot of that money. And I mean, if you just, you know, stick $100 a month in your retirement account and just don't overspend, just focus on other stuff, you know, set up a budget and then just like forget it.
yep.
That's what I think. I don't think money's that big of a deal. It's just a tool.
Yeah.
It's just a means to other ends. The other ends are more important than the means.
Sam, you got anything that's just not that big of a deal?
I've kind of a counterpoint to this that I've been
Ooh,
thinking about
okay.
a lot lately, and it's things that I think are a lot bigger of a deal than we make them. Context, I'm in the restaurant industry. I work at a restaurant called Superika in Atlanta.
Oh, I love that place.
Fantastic place.
I ate there 2 weeks ago. Oh,
What'd you get?
I made a mistake and I tried the hamburger Asa, which was good, but I just like really wish I would have.
Hamburger.
It's a heavy
also.
meal.
I really wish I would have. Like the steak quesadilla is unbelievable.
It is fantastic.
So there's no way.
Catfish tacos next time. That's my firm
Catfish
recommendation.
taco. Holy
Get
crap.
that next time.
Wow, I will. Okay.
So, restaurant industry. I have been just kind of pondering this a lot, and this has felt like heavy to me lately. That it is like a noble and honorable thing to serve.
Yeah.
And you have such a pointed opportunity to do that in the restaurant industry, no matter what your position is in the restaurant, kitchen, dining room, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
It's just like they tee you up to serve each other, whether that's the staff or guests, and that is a huge deal. And it's probably something that a lot of restaurants miss the mark on. And it's really the industry is set up to like make you good at that.
Yeah.
And so that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, that like that is a huge deal, and that changes a lot of the framework of like your work experience if you are a person on staff at a restaurant, but it changes the dining experience for the people in your restaurant if you have that attitude as well. So
Yeah. Steven and I have talked a little bit about what with coffee shops, there are these different waves. First wave was like, I guess was Starbucks first wave, or first wave was commoditized coffee, right? So just access to coffee in general.
Yeah.
Second wave was like the cafe thing. Yeah, Europe. Third places, whatever. And then third wave was fresh specialty coffee, which is kind of where we've been now, is like, all about the farmer and where it was sourced and how the coffee was made, and it's fresh, and you focus on pulling out all the yummy, tasty notes of coffee and stuff. We've made the argument that fourth wave, if there were to be a fourth wave, would be focused on hospitality, because I think everyone can make good coffee now. So how do you make yourself different? Many shops neglect the value of good customer service and hospitality and making people feel welcome in a space.
Yeah.
And I think that's what differentiates a lot of the coffee shops that we really love and enjoy, like a Valor or like a Sidetrack, is that they go above and beyond with hospitality, with serving you water and making sure you're taken care of and celebrated when you come in as a person.
Yeah.
That is big. Like, literally, I mean, I guess, yeah, now that Zion's out of the game, I'm the only one here that still works in coffee.
Yeah.
And no one cares that comes through East Pole, or that's like, I feel like, in the coffee scene, unless you're just like kind of like us, where we're like, yo, like, what anaerobic process did you get from black and white?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Unless you're a super nerd.
But like, no one that comes through cares whether the coffee's good, because I feel like the expectation now with specialty coffee, like, the expectation's already like good coffee. That's like kind of thrown to the wind. But the only gripes that I hear about any coffee shop is the hospitality. And when you miss the mark, you just hear about it. And so the only reason because like, once you get into coffee is not that hard to make.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
It's just a recipe. It's just like a little bit of science.
Yeah.
Even in the roasting space, like, there's like 35 seconds of differentiation between like every single coffee bean. Like, it's either staying in the roaster for like, it's like 8 minutes and 15 seconds or 9 minutes is like pretty much every single coffee ever roasted. I don't know if you've like, so pretty much every coffee is the same thing. Just like, and when you put it into a machine and like make espresso, it's always like, like, to your point, it's like, it's all pretty much the same as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah, the expensive side of it with the espresso machines and the Diedrich that costs like $50,000. It's like, it just gets you consistency.
Yeah.
You can make good home roasted coffee in your cast iron skillet, and it'll do the thing that you want. And if you're just careful, it'll taste good.
Yeah.
So like, really what people want is to be known and to feel like they're a part of a community. And like,
That's good.
I don't know. My shop will be like, oh, you should start like experimenting with like new recipes. And I was like, I already know how to make good coffee. All these people want, hey man,
Welcome back.
For all the listeners, Zion just sprinted back from the bathroom. Also, I just want to call you out, man. You've been talking all day long about how whole milk doesn't bother you. This is the second time you use the bathroom.
Whole
this
milk doesn't
episode.
bother me. That pizza, something
for sure, dude.
something wrong with that pizza.
Okay.
did it give you the yuppies?
I don't think the cheese was made with grade A2 milk.
Oh man, no, but I totally understand, or I totally agree, Jack. I think it's crazy to me, like, when people go into service industry places, like, definitely whenever they go into like high end restaurants like Superica or high end cafes like East Pole, and they consider, like, I don't understand, like, if someone tells me or if someone complains about like Little Caesars, I'm like, dude, like, their day, like, 100% was harder than yours. Like, there's a 100% chance that their day and their job is way harder than yours. And I would say there's a high likelihood their life is harder than yours. So whenever I go in a service industry place now, besides Chick-fil-A or like somewhere like Chick-fil-A that's like known for that or whatever, like I'm pretty much expecting that they're gonna like be mad at me for buying from their establishment. Like it doesn't really make very much sense to me whenever people are like, oh my gosh, like I need the manager. This person at Wendy's is just like being ridiculous.
Actually,
it's like, of course they are.
I
Like,
talked to
they're getting paid $9
Yeah.
to fry burgers over a 400-degree like fry. Like anyway, it's a terrible work environment. They
Yeah.
don't get paid much.
not getting paid enough. Anyway, I asked my brother-in-law this. He's the assistant manager in the wine sommelier at Helen in Birmingham, which is arguably the best restaurant in town. It's super high end.
Agreed.
Very expensive place, yeah.
If you're ever like celebrating anything, listeners, for any special occasion, you should definitely go there because it's unbelievable.
And get the rolls. The rolls are the best thing you'll put in your mouth in Birmingham, Alabama.
But what I asked him was, this is actually last night we were eating at The Essential, which is also a really good restaurant in Birmingham. Obviously, with a restaurant, like the food and the service are probably the main two things you're going to notice, and you want those two things to be good. What else outside of food and service do you notice in a restaurant that you think differentiates them? What sets the right vibe in a restaurant, do you think?
If the tables and seats, whether that be booths or chairs, are properly spaced. If I could go to the best food, the best wait staff, the like nicest environment,
I have such a fun story.
and if I'm like mushed into the table or in the same way, like feet away from the table, bad experience. I will not like, maybe the steak or the whatever pasta, like whatever it is good, but
You're
I'm remembering that I'm mushed into a
Yeah,
table
yeah.
more than anything else.
Bro, when Gracie and I were in New York, we went to this breakfast place called Dudley's. That was unbelievable. If you're ever in New York and you find yourself on the Lower East Side and you're into Australian-themed breakfast, you should go there. It's unbelievably good.
It's a lot of prereqs. I'll say it.
They're all good prereqs. But anyways, in New York, obviously, like they have this constant problem where it's like real estate is like super expensive. You have to burst out volume like as much as you can. So they have like small spaces so they can afford rent, and then they have to have as many tables in there as possible because they have to just like get a bunch of plates sold, right? And so we sat in this place, but what was really confusing to me was like the restaurant was not packed at all that morning. Like there was definitely different ways to do this, and they put there was 3 sets of 2 people. So there's 6 people in the whole restaurant. They put us all side by side, and these tables were like genuine, like maybe 18 inches apart from one another.
Wow.
And so Gracie and I were like talking, and like it was to the point where everything that we talked about, the people beside us could hear us. And we in that moment were like, okay, we're just not really gonna like talk. We're just gonna eat and like leave. They fully talked the entire time. Okay. And it was like it was 2 girls, and you could tell it was like a friend date, but they didn't really know each other that well. And it was crazy. Like, I think being in New York, it was just fascinating hearing that this happened several times at restaurants and places. But like hearing the way people talked, it was as if you were like hearing, like if TikTok was a human being, like TikTok philosophy was a human being, that's like kind of how they like conversated. So lots of like energy and like
Buzzwords,
body image, and like lots of buzzwords like that. And genuinely, this girl like the entire time was just talking about how and like obviously like I'm a guy, I don't know anything about this, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like the entire time was just talking about her journey to get like positive self-image talk like in her brain. And the ironic part was like the other girl like literally didn't get a word in. Like they were there for an hour, and the other girl like she talked the entire time and did not, and the other girl like would try, and then the other girl would just interrupt her and just talk about her story the entire time. And then like right at the very end, the girl was like, oh yeah, like like what are you up to? Like what are you up to soon? She was like, oh, it's like really cool. I'm going to the beach with my family soon, like on vacation, like to Jamaica or something. And she was like, oh my gosh, no way. I have to tell you this one like crazy cool hack I figured out with t-shirts. And then like for the next like 45 minutes she's like controlling the conversation, and then the next 20 minutes she's telling her how she can turn her t-shirt into like a bikini wrap. And then that was the end. And then they were just like, all right.
That's valid information. So.
Yeah. But I don't know. And then they were like, oh, this was so cute. I've got to run. And then they just like got up and left. I was like, that was insane. Like,
That's crazy.
Gracie and I literally listened to them the
One-sided.
entire time. Like, and, yeah. Like the other girl literally talked for maybe like 10 minutes of the 60 minutes they sat there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did think of a small add-on to what I had said.
Mhm.
That's it.
My girlfriend and I.
Liliana, shout out Liliana.
Shout out Liliana.
Sound he plays when he's talking
I know it's the. Yeah,
Mhm.
That's only
Uh,
half.
it's only half because we're not married.
Mhm.
But, guilty pleasure restaurant for us, Olive Garden.
That's
That-
guilty.
It's guilty. It's
That's guilty for
That
sure.
Genuinely, like that is so true though.
That's
That place
pretty-
is
that's pretty-
so.
sometimes
it's so
the
good.
craving hits so hard you're like, okay, this is where we're going.
No,
Like,
I love
Yeah.
their salad and their breadsticks.
Yeah.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Bro,
Absolutely.
It's so good.
Same with like
yeah, I'm not proud that I go there,
for
but
sure.
I do go
have
there.
A guy that I know. I'm not gonna say who or how. And he was.
do I know?
No, none of y'all know him.
Okay,
He is the.
it's Zion. He's talking about himself.
He's talking about himself.
He is the. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. He's the embodiment of white bread. You know, just like
Just like super
white
basic.
guy.
Yeah.
He was like telling me he had shopped recently. He was like, "Oh, I spent almost $1,000 yesterday. I went on just shopping for myself. I went to TJ Maxx. I went to Marshalls. Stopped at Ross.
Walmart.
Finished it up at Old Navy.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah, and then me and my girl, we had our 2-year
Olive
2-year
Garden.
celebration.
Olive
Went
Garden.
to Olive Garden.
Let's
Wow.
freaking go.
I was like,
Ultimate American consumerism all in one
I
day.
was like, damn, my man, you're still living in my 8-year-old body. That's awesome. That's great. My favorite stores, you went to all of them if I was 12.
Bro, yeah. Old
And
Navy
you know
when
what?
you were 12.
And you know what? Guilty
I
pleasure
messed
too
with
with Ross. I found brand new Magistas. Or Magista, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
For,
the soccer
for those
cleats.
that don't know what
Soccer
Magistas
cleats.
is. Oh, okay.
Magistas. I was in high school and I went in and found like when they first came out,
Oh, yeah.
real, and they were $32.
Wow.
I'm telling you,
I
soccer
played-
cleats were like the number one thing to find at Ross.
Dude,
Yeah.
and I played 4 years of high school soccer
You
with
had
those
the
things.
blue ones?
That's crazy.
I had the green ones.
Green ones, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the orange ones.
Okay,
I
so
love
Okay.
guilty pleasure.
Yeah. Nobody roasts me for enjoying Olive Garden occasionally.
No, Olive Garden's it's
Well, to be fair, we did not go to Olive Garden growing up a single time. The first time I had Olive Garden, I was like 17, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Claire and I
I've
sometimes
been missing out on extremely average
sometimes
Italian
it'll be date night and we'll be like, you know what? Cheesecake Factory.
food. Yes,
You know?
that's so.
It's
real.
like Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
John,
found-
what-
I discovered Olive Garden when they had 60K subscribers.
Bro, OG follower.
Okay, Jacob, you were gonna say something about
Oh my
restaurant.
gosh! Wait, hold on. I just got to know
Okay.
what, like, have you clocked the drive time from 12 to our local Olive Garden? Do you have that dialed?
So
Literally just send your address.
Oh frick! Yo,
hey,
you
can we
bleep-
bleep that out?
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Our address is.
Yo, just bleep that out.
Yeah.
My phone number and email are.
You know, it doesn't, like, whenever you beep something out, it doesn't follow your syllables.
Oh yeah, you're right. Anyways, no. Okay, so
It's just Steven voicing over going. He's like, right when he starts talking, he's like, me wash me.
Okay.
Okay,
Don't come to our house.
two
It's
quick
okay.
things to
I'll
answer that.
cover it up.
My girlfriend, for context, lives about an hour from where we live, and so we meet at the one in Roswell, which is about halfway. It's 37 minutes, and I know this because we went 3 days ago. And my complaint that I was going to talk about 10 minutes ago is when a restaurant is too dim in the name of ambiance. Hey,
Yeah.
okay, talk about doxing yourself.
Red Lobster's that way.
Red Lobster?
Last
That ain't
time I was at
lobster.
Red Lobster
That's
with
that's a languista or whatever the fake lobster is. It ain't lobster.
Languista?
I think so.
That's
Yeah, bro, you eat linguista.
Can we get?
You look like
Sounds like an
linguista.
app to learn English.
No, there's oh, it's Langostina. That's the name of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Languista.
Yeah, linguista is an app to learn English. You're right.
But also, that is lobster. I looked it up recently.
No, it's like crawfish.
No, it's lobster. The lobster's up front. Well, maybe it's something else. But if you order a full lobster,
You just pull it out of the tank.
Yeah.
in the front?
I looked
That's
it up. 'cause
crazy.
somebody
I've
was
never
like,
been there.
I can't remember who it was, but they were like, that doesn't happen. And we got a 30-minute conversation. And I was like, then why do they have them? And
Just
then
for
I
sure.
looked it up, and they do.
Wow.
It's real.
All right, I stand corrected.
On their website, which I guess is not as it's biased, but
Sure.
but I was gonna say the last time I went to Red Lobster was I think high school. Someone invited me to their homecoming, and that was the place we went. And I got some bomb
Who invited you to
coconut
their
curry
homecoming?
shrimp. I was literally my buddy's date. He is Kendall Clark, my boy.
Hey, shout out Kendall Clark.
Shout out Kendall.
Kendall's a good dude. I haven't heard.
He's
I haven't
awesome.
I should call him.
Heard.
Yeah.
Busy now.
Oh, no way.
What's that segment that they do on Blake's podcast?
Recently.
The trivia
subjective
of the day.
trivia.
Subjective trivia.
Yeah.
That
Anyway,
actually
just to
awesome.
wrap up that point.
Okay. Yeah.
Dim restaurants in the name of ambiance, stupid.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to go on a romantic date, I'd love to see the person sitting across from me and not have to
That's super fair.
hand binoculars.
Dude, talk to me. Talk to me about other things. What other things in restaurants do y'all think make the restaurant? I would love to hear Sam as a actual restaurantee or restaurateur.
As we were kind of broaching this subject like 35 minutes ago, what initially occurred to me when kind of just before John's point about like spacing and everything like that, right when Myers introduced it of like aside from food and service, like what are the things that make a restaurant for you? And something that I go back and forth of like this annoys me about myself versus like it's just one of those things I can't turn off in my brain or I have a hard time doing this. When I go to a restaurant like as a diner, I like can't stop watching the restaurant. Like if they have an open kitchen, I'm looking in the kitchen, watching how they work. I watch like how the servers move on the floor and stuff like that. And so I think a good restaurant, there are like visible and or like other tangible signs of grace in the dining room. And that is just to me like evidence of like good discipline and teamwork, because it's like obviously they care about the details that go into good food and good service. And so like if it seems like the people that work there are not working hard, but you know that it is a like very cultivated environment, that is probably a good restaurant. Like so I'm fascinated with like watching people work in restaurants. Like I think it's really interesting.
Fascinating. Huh.
This is something that Lillaby loves when we go into restaurants. Is she loves and gets so excited to see what the bathrooms look like.
Same.
So
Yeah.
if it's a cool bathroom, your restaurant points do go up instantaneously. I'll tell you one thing I don't like about restaurants, and this happens even in cool restaurants. Women's bathroom, totally normal. Pretty cool. Lillaby will be like, it's so cute, it's awesome. I'm like, that's great. Guys' bathroom, naked women. Like you just go in and it's like girl in a bikini, or it's like it's this cool French restaurant, it's really nice. Go in, topless women.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm just like, okay.
That's what a toilet looks like.
Use the bathroom.
The floor is made of floor.
Wow. The floor is made of floor. I'm gonna check the time 5 times. Walk to the sink. Here we go.
It's been a while since I've been on the weather app. Let's see what's going on there.
Any new settings been added lately?
Any new settings? That joke just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like, yeah, guys can have cool bathrooms too. It doesn't just like.
I think
I can be like, a guy definitely designed this bathroom.
Yeah.
A girl designed the girl's bathroom, and then the dude who's in the partnership was like, I got the perfect day.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, you can't look!
Love
Don't look! You
this.
can't go in there. That's a guy's only bathroom.
What I think, something I freaking love about, I think this is just establishments in general, but restaurants do it a lot, is when it's like the restaurant is going to have some sort of theme, whether it be like Mexican food or like Italian food or anything. And
My favorite theme: Mexican food.
All right, screw it. The bathroom genre.
Mexican food.
The theme is Mexican. All right,
I think that's cuisine.
all right, cuisine. The bathroom, and the bathroom, instead of men or women, it's like.
What are you about to say right now?
Instead of, yeah. It's like, oh frick, I'm trying to. In like most Southwest, it's like rock stars, roadies.
Yeah.
It's like the bathroom.
Blokes and Sheilas.
Or
Blokes
it's
and
like, or
Sheilas.
it's like not. It doesn't say something, and just the little person is supposed to cater like what it is. Sometimes it's so confusing.
There have been many times where I've gone to a bathroom in a
Zaxby's.
restaurant and it's like in a different language,
bro.
and I'm like, I genuinely
Or, like,
don't
it's
know
like,
which one
usually
I'm
it's
supposed
like,
to go
okay, the guy
into.
doesn't have anything. The girl has a dress. It's like I
Yeah.
can see which bathroom is which. But then sometimes it's like an astronaut and like a chef, and you're like, who is what?
Yeah.
Literally, it's like a
liberals.
Gosh. But literally, like Zaxby's is like a hen and a rooster. And
Yeah.
It's like I can't remember.
I like.
How do I know the difference? A chicken is a chicken. Which one's the boy? Which one's the girl?
is so-
Wait
I'm trying to
until
think of
any
better-
like
there's probably-
farmer in the Zaxby's dining room goes to the bathroom.
Crack the
like,
door,
just
naked
follow
woman in
that
there.
guy.
Yeah, that's
My
you guys.
actual answer is the temperature of a restaurant. If my mom, if we had another chair for my mom right here, she would talk about this for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But like if literally like if you walk in and it's too cold, she's like, we cannot go here.
Yeah.
We can't go in here. It's
If
too
you have to
cold.
like consciously remember to bring a sweater or
like
something.
that is so frustrating. And I get
yeah.
that Sam could probably speak into like the temperature of the restaurant is like for a reason, and like probably like if you turn the air conditioning down, it would get like unbelievably hot or something. But sometimes you walk in somewhere and it's like so cold, like it genuinely makes your experience way worse.
The reason is money. It's always money.
money.
I'll tell you, this is kind of insane. We don't even have like access to our temperature control. It is like offsite.
Wow.
Like our engineering department controls the temperature in our restaurant.
Yeah.
And that,
Well, there are
that
numerous-
department is not located in our building.
Yeah, there are multiple Supericas, correct? So it's like a chain. Yeah.
Yeah. So ours is in Krog Street Market, and we don't adjust the temperature control, and so our restaurant is very much like indoor-outdoor scenario. So like open the bar windows, open the patio doors, and stuff like that. And so when it's really nice outside, it's a really nice environment. And a lot of the other time, it's kind of tough. Like middle of summer, it gets a little steamy. One note that I have about bathrooms, unrelated to the interior design of bathrooms. Fortunately, Chick-fil-A doesn't plaster anything in the men's bathrooms on the walls or anything. But my boss,
It's the Veggie Tales. Bob and Larry.
yeah, Bob and Larry. And it's like, it's still don't know.
Bathsheba.
Which one's the girl?
Which one's the boy? Which one's the girl?
My boss at Chick-fil-A was like, so speaking of like knowing a good restaurant from like walking into their bathroom, like that man, anytime that he used the bathroom, would clean the entire bathroom.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he
It's
just
dedication.
You're just making a mess in there.
like whooped that into my brain. And here's the thing. I texted him like 2 weeks ago. Me and my wife went to the Chick-fil-A in like Grant Park, and I went in the bathroom. I just like looked around and just shook my head and just immediately grabbed like 15 paper towels and just started cleaning this bathroom. I was like, texted my old boss. Like I haven't worked for him in like over a year, and texted him, was like, did this for you today. Like had to clean up the Grant Park Chick-fil-A bathroom. It's like I can't.
Your
not
honor.
now.
That's funny. So I also worked at Chick-fil-A for a couple of years, the one in Gardendale, where
Go
Jake and
Rockets.
Steven and I are from.
Shout out Shane. Season.
I work there now.
Always smelled like poop in in the bathroom.
Do you think that has to do with the fact that you pooped?
No. When you walk in, like pre-usage, but like that.
He's like,
entire,
I always poop in there, and then it smells bad.
I go
Why does it smell bad?
bathroom.
Okay, how like
And then the whole restaurant smells like
you're from Gardendale,
Freaking
Steven.
gross.
How often would you say you went inside that Chick-fil-A?
Inside the Chick-fil-A or the Chick-fil-A bathroom?
Inside like the lobby.
Oh, 1,000.
Yeah, it always smelled like sewage.
I'll be honest with you, I've never got that.
Really?
Yeah, but
You?
maybe I was what was smelling
You just
bad.
get a different perspective. I think working there, you just
Yeah.
get a different perspective. Like I have clothes that still smell like chicken grease because
Yeah.
I worked in those clothes every day,
You lucky dog.
and it's and every day I just.
Do you know
I go
which
in my
bathroom to
closet
go
and I
into
just-
at
By the way-
Zaxby's now?
Yeah, by the way, Jacob's selling these clothes online in case.
If you come to
Yeah,
the show
check out his
tonight-
Depop.
if you come to the show tonight, I'm gonna toss them out. Yeah, I think getting there, you just get a different, or working there, you get a different perspective of like when you walk in as a patron, you get like the very kind introduction and the like eye contact, all that crap, and it's just like you are made to have the exact experience that is intended, and like working there, like the dead times you see, like all that stuff, and it's just like I don't really know where the poop smell comes in, but I think that I think that it is true. Like when you walk in that bathroom, if you've been in it like 100 times, you're like, oh, there's that freaking smell again. Like it's just like if you're only in there to use the bathroom and not like sit on your phone to get out of work, like I think that you'd get a different perspective.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know how your experience was. We've never actually talked about it, which we should sometime. I'd love to. You were a director? That's
Wow.
crazy.
Big man on campus.
Yeah, big dog, Chick-fil-A big dog. Always smell like like it's funny to me the juxtaposition of like going to a Chick-fil-A and it's like it's always the same. It's always going to be a good experience and like great customer service. The food's pretty consistently great, but like working in back of house sometimes is like slumming it. Like bad.
It is.
Like especially like tends to be a high population of like high schoolers that work at Chick-fil-A. I mean, that's when I worked there. I worked there from when I was 16 to 18. So, like,
I've got a question. What is hospitality like leading from a stage at a concert?
oh, that's
How do you
question.
welcome people in and make them feel? Yeah, on this segment of trying to keep things on topic.
You wanna start?
Try to keep, yeah. Hospitality at a show is super. Yeah. Looking back to why we're here. Not to stop talking about poopy restaurants.
Sorry, guys. I'll keep
I
the
would
foodie restaurants to
say-
myself from now on.
I would say that hospitality from a stage is a total different perspective. It totally depends on who's in the audience and like how they respond. So, for example, when we go to this show tonight, it's just gonna be some young folks. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna scream immediately. And
As
that's
you
how we
should.
usually start every show. And I'm gonna say, "What's up? Let's have some fun." And we'll go straight into it. It's a lot of fun. We did that Fi Slam. It was freaking awesome. There's like 300 folks there,
Super fun.
and everybody was there to party. But we played a show in Alpharetta where it was like it was like one of the nicest shows we played. We
Definitely,
had like
I would say most attended
LED
as well.
screen. Oh yeah, huge audience, LED screen, and like it was just great. And the show was awesome. A ton of people came out. It was really sweet. A lot of the audience was like 50, 60-year-old folks. And no matter how hard I tried.
Before you keep going,
Yeah.
context.
Yeah.
We
We opened
for a band called
Skin Folks.
Skin Folk, and they're a Leonard Skinner tribute band.
SKYN.
SKYN Folk, and we opened
Yeah,
for
we
that
opened for
band.
them. Hey, shout out Steve Beecham.
Yeah.
So we opened, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not get the people to stand up. And I just went over and over again. But for hospitality from a show, I think it's just making it feel like it's not a show. It's like it feels more like we're just having a conversation. I'm just the one talking the most.
Yeah.
It's like we go up, and it really is like, I'm here. Are you here with me?
Yeah.
And so,
I've heard that said about like public speakers do the same thing where it's
Yeah.
like this is a conversation, and even though I'm kind of getting up on stage and doing a monologue, like you're inviting these people into this conversation, this
Because
music piece.
the reality too is you can't respond right now, but after the show we can talk, and that's kind of like the whole point, especially for some of the songs that we play and talk about. So I think it really is just like inviting people into that space and putting yourself out there to be like, hey, I'm here. And even if you don't have, I think the whole thing is like, even if you're playing to 5 people, which we've done, you just go out and you're the same. I'm the same me if I'm with 5 people or 500 people.
Yeah.
It's like these people, we're not playing for anybody else. We're playing because we love to play.
Yeah.
So I think hospitality from that is making everyone feel welcome. One, so you like don't like single anybody out and make them feel dumb for whatever they're doing. Like I saw this video recently, like literally like yesterday. That was Madonna, like yelling at a fan to stand up. Like, why aren't you standing up? They were disabled. in a wheelchair.
Oh no.
In a wheelchair. And then she just goes, I'm sorry, I'm glad you're here. And you're like, just don't yell at somebody for sitting down. It's like, you're not that important. If they don't want to, if they might not be able to stand up.
Yeah.
And so I think making people feel welcome and just making people feel like you're supposed to be here. Like that we're all here and you're supposed to be here and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
So like hospitality from a stage standpoint is just like being really thankful that people spent their money and time to come watch you play.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good
you
word.
don't have to be here. You don't have to give me your money or your time or care at all, but you are. And so I'm going to be thankful and I'm going to perform like we're going to perform as hard as we can and as best we can. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of a lot of bands that are probably like when they put on a show, it's going to be 1,000 people or less in attendance. There's like a lot of the bands I like are about that size. And it always drives me nuts when at least, like, if it's an artist with a band or if it's a band of, like, everybody's an equal, it drives me crazy when at least one or a couple of them don't come to merch after the set.
Yeah.
Because, like, one, like, going back to the, like, nobody's that important. And I get, like I have some, like, mutual friends with Steven Sanchez, and I was talking to them recently about a show he did in Nashville, and he's like from what I've heard, I've never met him, but he's a very, very down-to-earth person and loves he like his rise to fame was so quick. He doesn't understand that like he can't just go talk to fans anymore because he'll get swarmed. Like fans get crazy and try to rip his clothes off and tackle him and will do anything to get close to him. And so like
that's how it is with us in word of mouth.
Yeah. Every time I go to Trader Joe's,
you're right.
Like I can't even get in the door.
So wonderful. Yeah, like I get like artists hit a point where they can't go just like talk to fans because it's just not a feasible thing. But like if it's within feasibility for you to do so and you don't because you just don't want to, that drives me insane. And it's like you wouldn't be anything without the people that want to come up to your merch table and talk to you and say, I've been a fan since you were this big and I have all of your t-shirts and I'm in your top 1% on Spotify. Like you wouldn't exist as an artist without that. Yeah. And so like I feel like that for like that tier of artists, that is like one of the most hospitable things you can do. Yeah. And like I don't know how far like I want to play Zion Goins as a band forever, but like I don't know how far that'll take us, but I never want to get to the point like we might as well just hang it up if we get to the point where we're like, no, I don't really want to go talk to fans. Like that's not, or just like friends, whatever. Like
like when I got the notification that I was in Drake's top 1.2% of listeners and he like didn't want to talk to me, I was like, what the heck's your problem?
What the heck?
And you're special.
And then he wrote Rich Baby Daddy and I was like, never mind.
I think too, when they like the whole point is to connect with people. Yeah. So especially if we're all believers, we love the Lord. Yep. We're doing this for like because God gave us a gift and a talent that we could pursue, so that glory goes to God.
Yeah.
So if my whole goal is to just like talk to people and like let them know that there is hope and like joy and happiness and peace, but I'm not like I'm too cool to talk to them. It's just like, wow, what is wrong with you?
It's kind of a weird thing because you are trying to garner an audience. Clearly, when you get on stage and play music, you do want people to listen to you, and so if you're being cynical about it, you can be like, oh, I'm doing this selfishly for my own glory and my own status, and so then I guess that the selfishness would then continue if you were like, but I don't actually want to interact with these people. So then the humble perspective is to be thankful and grateful that you even can come up there and share, and you're bringing joy to people. That's the purpose. Yeah. You're bringing joy to people. And then like to continue that gratification and thankfulness and that humility, you have to then go and talk to the people.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
And it's not, you can think of it from a cynical perspective and be like, well, if you're going to talk to people, like you're just trying to, I don't know, there's like, you're doing the same thing as someone else who might be doing it with different motives. It's sometimes hard to differentiate, I think.
Yeah, I think something that me and Steven talked about the other day for like a couple hours, honestly.
Yeah.
Was just like, why are we doing it, and like why do we have to? We've talked about this before. Like like promotion fatigue, like is so real, and like we're in a stage where like we are trying to garner fans. Like we don't have like the backing to like throw shows out and people buy tickets.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be some people there tonight that are like, I like your music and I'm here to listen to you, and that's dope. That is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But like I'm in the phase where like person to person, word of mouth is like the best way.
Bing.
Is like the best way to get people to shows.
Yeah.
And like that gets old. Like straight up,
Yeah.
it gets old to like constantly push shows to people. But I'm like, I'm telling you about the show because I want you to come because I think you'd have a good time.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy this show.
Yeah.
And it's like Steven mentioned, like Steven's seen Coin like 7 times, and like or something like that.
Yeah.
And like Chase, like second show, like hopped off stage and like knew your name. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like
That's dope.
like that is like Chase is not gonna know Steven's name now if you saw him at a show probably. But that's because they're freaking huge. And like they don't post on Instagram.
He might though.
But
He
at the
might.
beginning,
Honestly, he
at the
might.
beginning
Like I went
too.
to a lot of his shows when there was no one there.
Honestly,
That's
he might
awesome.
know your name. Yeah, he was like it's just so interesting how like Coin cannot post anything and then post and everyone's like, oh my gosh, finally Coin's back.
Yeah.
If we didn't post for 6 months and then we come back,
Which we've done.
it's like which we've done. We would come back and it's like we have to rebuild like
You really do
something.
have to rebuild.
Yeah.
And it's like so tough.
I think the word of mouth thing too is just like, so for a long time ago when I was living in Birmingham, I had this. He was like the guy over me. His name's Zach Walker. Shout out Zach.
Shout out Zach. He's my gym coach.
He's
now.
awesome.
Also,
He's
He's an
Friday.
awesome,
X4?
awesome.
I remember-
He's a coach at X4.
Yeah, he's awesome. I remember talking to him about like trying to get students to come to youth, and I was like, we should do a giveaway. We should do a big old giveaway. And he was
Xbox.
like, he was like,
AirPods.
It was literally AirPods.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should do it. It's going to work. And he was like, dude, whatever you do to get people to be there, you have to continue to do to get people to stay.
Ooh.
He was like, so we're
That
not
hits.
like we're not here to give kids like to bribe children into the gospel.
You can listen to sermons
Could
on
you
AirPods.
imagine if like the local mosque was like,
Oh my god!
if you show up, there's a chance you might win AirPods.
Come to
I'd be
prayer.
like, wow,
Yeah.
that is weird.
Yeah. So like that's awesome. There's just like that in the same vein. Who were we just talking about where like they sold out shows for a second and then like with the TikTok and everything died down. now
Sales.
They're just like sales. And it's like, and yeah, sometimes that just happens and it's just like you blow up for a second and then you go right back to being normal.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you can garner an audience and a fan base that you're kind to and that they want to be there, it's totally different than just like blowing up and all of a sudden you're huge.
Going back to the restaurant thing, people just want to be known. And so, like, taking that idea from hospitality is just like, if you can connect with a person, like, there's one reason only why Sidetrack is my favorite coffee shop, and it's because I had a 5-minute conversation with the owner of the shop, and 4 months later, he
Leasing our
remembered my
parcels.
name.
It's crazy.
And so, like, it's hard because a lot of us play at churches, and after a gig, hospitality looks like staying and talking to people, even though last weekend I got home at 3:30 in the morning from Auburn, and then I had to get up at 6 to go make my call time. And so, like, people just want to be known, and if you just do, like, the little extra thing, I did not want to talk to people. I wanted to get in my car, and I wanted to haul it home. And it was cool. I ended up running into a guy named Maddox, who I taught at Mason Music.
Wow.
When I ended up, I introduced him to Jacob. He's about to start at Samford in the music
That's
program.
awesome.
But, like,
Let's go.
I was talking to him, and I was like, wait, you were my student, like,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
No, literally, it's like, but when I say like you want to act like, it's like you're saying it's like a conversation from stage. It's like you can build that like forever fan if you have just like one like solid, nice conversation with them. Because like that like stage to fan relationship feels so like weird and parasocial, and you can make it not that by like just talking to people.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah. Hey, well, I think it's really cool too how y'all have this perspective right now too, because it is a unique space and time for Zion where, y'all, we kind of let Zion talk about the album a little bit on like the episode we recorded previously today. But the album's done. It kind of has been done for y'all for a while. It's just been in it's kind of been in the oven getting perfected and everything with the master people, whatever those people are called.
Shout out Stephen Potasic. Shout out Chris Miller.
Yeah. But y'all are kind of in a place where y'all are trying to steward that well and put it all out and prepare for a tour. So talk to us a little about that. Like, what's next for Zion Goins? I mean, the tour, and then also just like future, like dream a little bit.
I can go for a second. Then I think like it's another like fatigue thing that kind of hits. Is like we had planned to drop like a single every week for 3 weeks and then drop the album. And just like in the world of playlisting and the rules of like the silly weird rules of Spotify, that's just like not conducive to like good promotion. So we've had to like waterfall it a little more. So we're just like releasing like single EP, single album over like 4 months or something like that. Cause that like you can playlist stuff a lot easier and you have a higher chance of getting on like editorial and all that. But I think like looking to like shows and like runs of shows and tour and all that stuff, it's so tough because like we don't make enough money to like provide for us off shows. Everyone has jobs. Like we can't afford a van. Like we had to like do like a crowdfunding like fundraiser for the album. Sam has a full-time job. Jack has a full-time job. I'll be working all summer. John, like everyone is doing stuff. So it's like fitting shows in is so hard. And like we had to kind of make the decision recently that like all show money, like we used to split it up. Like if we get paid for a show, it's like we each get a percentage. And like we kind of just had to be like, that's not going to get us anywhere. And like all money that we make from shows and merch now goes directly back into the band.
Yeah, it was just counterintuitive. We were all like leaving with a few $100s, and then we were just like, all right, so we all leave with a few $100s. What we put into our rent or whatever, or we buy something, and it's like whatever, or we can all take this, just like a few $100s we didn't have already. We're gonna do something we really like, and then we can have $3,000 in our bank account, and we can just start saving, and then start buying things that will propel us and prepare us for playing bigger shows and bigger venues. Because there's also like this diminishing thing where we start getting bigger and playing more, and we still don't have money to have an ears rig, or we don't have money to like do like to mix tracks and have them coming through. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, all right, well, let's just like take the brunt end of it on this front end, and then we'll coast later on. So that's a good word.
Music business.
BIZNES.
Yeah, my thought process with us like starting to push money back into the band versus like taking our cut is like, okay, we did this really awesome fundraiser for the record, and we can't do it again because who's gonna be like, yeah, we like people really showed out, and like we had our goal in the 30-day time span. It was really awesome, and in a year we're gonna be like, all right, time to do it again. The same people that already donated, can you do it again? Like that's just not. I like. Not only is it like kind of goofy, I would definitely feel uncomfortable asking the people that like put their hard-earned money into it to do it again. That's just like I wouldn't do that. So, like talking about the ears rig and tracks and like a van down the road. That's like obviously not super smart or realistic right now, but like all that stuff. And it feels good to like we made this money doing what we like to do, and it returned to continue helping us do what we like to do. It's just like it's so hard at the beginning when you're it's so hard at the beginning when you're small to like have that turnaround. But like I think we're just in that point of like starting to make the snowball and like pushing it down the hill. So
yeah.
But if you look at where
awesome, guys,
Taylor Swift was in her early days,
when her dad was paying.
Come on.
She's got a lot of insight in the music business. I think we're just careful to follow her.
Yeah, just follow her
rules.
footsteps. Well, just going off that too, if you exhaust if that's how we do it and you exhaust your audience is not excited when a new album comes out. You're like, oh my gosh, these guys won't stop asking me for money.
Yeah.
Like, which it's, yeah. Which we still need to get people their stuff. Sorry, everyone who hasn't got their stuff yet. Like, got some posters I got to send out. Posters and a couple dates with the band. So anyway,
The whole band.
But yeah, like you get in that zone where now your audience just like thinks, okay, when they release new music, I have less money. This is not as fun as I want it to be.
Yeah.
Which, you know, in essence, you're supposed to create this like thing that people want to help support you make, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I just came to realization too, like anyone with like a label, like they front you money to pay for a tour. You have to pay the money back at the end. They're just a big bank. And we don't have a label. Do we necessarily want one? Not. That's like you're not guaranteed to be paid a ton of money. And, you know, I'm just like, for now, like, you go indie as long as you can. And, like,
fully exhausted
yeah.
until you don't need to be.
Yeah, fully exhausted until you don't need it anymore.
Like Hippocampus, I think, is on a label these days. But like they exhausted indie
Well, you get to a point where
so hard. Like
you have so many requests or shows that you need somebody to take care of that.
Yeah.
And like book you stuff, and then it becomes a self-sustaining thing. But yeah, right at the beginning, you're like, all right, well, you know, we just don't have the money to do the tour. So what we're doing, we've got all the songs and stuff ready to go. We have a bunch of visuals coming out, which is going to be awesome. Chris Todd did a really great job telling the story of recording the album.
Yeah.
And we're going to release all that stuff. And now we're just kind of grinding, trying to get shows that are in this area, but pushing to new places that we haven't been before. Like, I don't know if we've ever full band played in Chattanooga. Oh, we played in Cleveland one time at the acoustic house show with Carver. But we're playing in Chattanooga now as a full band, and it's like a first time thing. We're going to try to like branch out into other zones. And so, you know, it's cool. We're just trying to do it more realistically. Jack?
Heck yeah.
Did you have anything? Did you want to talk about it?
I don't think I had anything else.
Sam
is now officially in the band.
Sam's officially in the band.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Sam. Is this your first show? We're mad stoked. I think this is first show official. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're super stoked that Sam's here.
Y'all are gonna listen to this again in 5 years and be like, "Wow,
Wow.
Sam's first show. He's been
Come
in this band
on.
for 5 years now."
I'll probably have a kid for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam and Chloe will have
For
like
sure Jack
11
will have a
kids.
kid.
Jack will
Zion
have a
the
kid.
second.
Zion the second.
Zion 2.
Zion 2. That's what we're going to name our first baby, boy or girl.
Zion 2. Lillaby 2.
If it's a what?
Lil B2.
Lillaby 2.0. Lillaby 2.0.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I mean, I've kind of been following Zion since day one. You know how I figured out about Zion? It's because I was at work. I had a shift with Zion, and Zion played me his song.
There you go.
Zion said, "Hey, I put out a song on Spotify. Check it out." And you had got like 40,000 streams in 2 days or something like that. And I was
I
like,
don't know if it was that bad. It did have. It did do well.
it was
and I
65,000 streams when you showed it to me.
And that
Was
was
it Don't
probably
Want It?
like a few months after I released it.
Now, you said you had gotten it in the past like 2 weeks. You got like 40.
Okay,
it jumped.
maybe.
It
No, I
spiked.
think that might be right. Do you remember what song it was?
Wait, was it Don't
was
Want
the
It?
one with the
wait.
soda bursting out beside you. You're in the asphalt.
Explode?
Explode,
There's
yeah.
no way Explode even has 65,000 streams right now.
I think it has 100, doesn't
Oh
it?
dang! Okay, pop off.
I thought.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean, I
it did.
don't- I
Maybe it
can't
did
check.
pop off. I do remember doing that. That was a blast. Just literally telling your friends word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
One.
Please listen to my music.
Hey, man. Well, I think it's been amazing throughout the past, like, I don't even know. I guess like the past, 4 years?
I don't know.
Literally 5 years
Feels
since
like
I met.
forever.
Like trying to, like I don't even know, trying to like keep up with all the different things, all the different phases, and then also like the pandemic in the middle of it, and the new city, and I don't know, all the marriage, all the different things. It's been a cool ride, and I think we're getting to, let's say y'all. I feel like I'm part of it. We're getting to reap a little bit of the benefits of it right now, and yeah, all the different things that'll come in the future too. But man, I think it's cool. I think it's kind of cool too that we get to do like podcasts. One of the reasons we wanted to do this is because I just think it'll be cool to look back on a conversation I had with my dad one day. Like, you know, there'll be a day, statistically speaking, hopefully, like there will be a day where, you know, I outlive my father. and
Yeah.
you know, I can re-listen to a conversation I had with him. So in that same light, like,
Yeah.
I'll be able to look back on this conversation. Y'all get to look back on this conversation and giggle.
Beautiful.
30 years from now, whenever
Come
you're
on.
playing O2 in London. The first
Hey,
time you play O2 in London, I'll go to London, I promise.
Yeah. Yo.
Hey, we're proud of you
paid for your
guys
flights.
as your friends, and we love you guys a lot. And
You
we're
guys. Thanks for having
really
us on
glad.
word of mouth.
Yeah, we're really glad you came on.
Love you
This
guys.
is so cool.
Wom wom.
Y'all have any last words? Anybody?
Sam? I think we would just say, please go listen to our music. Come to the
Yes.
show if you're around. And
Again, if
God
you're on
bless.
YouTube, all the links to Spotify and tickets and all
Throw
that
it
kind of
all up
stuff
there.
will all be it'll all be below.
it's gonna be a blast, guys. We love doing this. We love playing, and we want you to come join us for a show. It's just so different live. But that's one thing is like we do stuff live to get people to come back where we're just like energetic. That's like what we want to do to get people to keep coming back.
Yeah.
It's like that's the joy of getting people to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Lastly, restaurant, the music that they play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big. How loud it is and what it is. And if I come in and there's nothing playing, I'm leaving,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
walking out. I don't want to hear
I'd rather
anybody
listen to
chew.
freaking Adele than nothing.
You know what? Actually, I really love
Adele.
guilty pleasure. No, going into a Chinese restaurant and it's all pretty accurate covers of top 40, but you just know. But you can also just tell that it's not the actual person.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh
Love that.
man.
Oh,
Wom.
man.
Wom.
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 Thanks so much, guys. This has been the best Zion Goins word of mouth episode of all time. We're going to break it one day. We're going to break that. We'll get another first place one day soon. But yeah,
I'm gonna hold it for a while.
thanks for listening. Audience.
See you, everyone.
Bye, guys. God bless.
Secret things.
Go on.
And I'll tell you what. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do a little bit of...
He's got it. There it is.
Is this it?
I think that's the one.
Welcome to Myers Sports segment.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
They can't hear it because y'all don't have headphones.
I love
but,
this song.
We have the Chicago Bulls intro song.
Wow. Man.
If I could
like
hear
the
it, I'd be
song's
so
like-
jazzed.
I
right
love
now.
LeBron James.
Nice.
My favorite season of basketball was when LeBron James played for the Chicago Bulls.
My favorite was when LeBron James dunked on Michael Jordan.
Yep.
That was a good season too.
That was my favorite season.
I think that was
Episode
season
6.
37.
Episode 6?
Guys, this is all we're going to talk about today. Golly. Like
You're only touching 4 over and over again.
Anyways, this is the secret segment, so it doesn't really freaking matter. But
There are 4
anyways,
more
okay.
buttons.
So, Myers Sports, how does it feel that Sanford was robbed?
Oh no.
Basketball.
Here, let me just get up on my soapbox real quick.
I hope you break it.
I watched the first half of the Samford versus Kansas game in March Madness,
Tell me
and
you went to bed.
then I went to bed after the second
Oh my
half.
gosh, you're so fake.
We were down like 20 points. Yeah, it was like 10:30, and I usually go to bed at like 9 or 9:30, so it was getting late, and I had to get up early the next morning for work. And I know that it's a big deal that Stanford was in it because it's really kind of the
Like, first
second
time
time
they've
they've
been in
ever
it,
been.
25 years. They were like, about to win. It's no big deal.
So I know it was a big deal, but I just was being selfish with my time and I wanted to sleep. But I was really
You're being
bummed.
selfish to Bucky.
I was being selfish with.
Bucky knows you went to sleep.
First word,
Yeah.
James.
First word, Jermaine. First word, Jermaine. 2 words, Jermaine Marshall.
That was after they won the
He
their
cut it out.
conference- After they won their conference championship, literally the first they were like, Bucky, how do you feel after this game? That's the name of the head coach of the basketball team.
Bucky
He literally looked at the sports commentator girl and was like, 1 word Jermaine, 2 words Jermaine Marshall. That was all that he said. Yes, that was it.
We need someone to not stutter
Sam
through
Peacock
that.
And Sam Edits were watching, in Sam Peacock's car headed to Canes. We had just watched the Alabama
Canes is
Florida
so
game,
good.
and he said 1 word Jermaine, 2 words Jermaine Marshall. I don't know why. We all just like started
That's the same.
crying, laughing.
That is the same energy as "Who do you think you are?" Who
do you think
you are?
Who do you think you are?
You're so amped up and excited that your mouth doesn't work, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? I am. That's right. I did it. I said I did it. I do it.
Go look up that video, guys.
Hate it or love it, you watch.
People
That's all
watching.
you could do.
That guy
Have
was a
you-
professional bowler, got addicted to drugs.
Oh, Lord.
Got clean.
Oh wow.
Became a professional chess player. Went
No,
back
are
to
you
bowling
serious?
and won that championship.
Are you serious?
What the heck?
That man's amazing.
I know.
You know who he's talking to?
Who?
A 12-year-old. Have you ever seen him talking about that?
No.
That why he said that? 12-year-old in the audience was heckling him.
Wow. Wow.
A 12-year-old in the audience was heckling this boy.
Why was a 12-year-old heckling at a professional bowling match?
I love that we're saying hackling, even though I accidentally messed it up. Hackling. He was heckling him, and he says he turns around and like this kid had been like just literally dogging him all night. He wins.
Suck at bowling.
And then literally, and he's like,
Who do you think you are?
You can go watch it, and he talks about it, and he's like, I don't know why I said it that way. I got so excited. I just got so amped up, and that's just what came out.
That's
But
funny.
honestly, I'm like, bro, you won. You can say whatever you want.
Everyone was like,
What is
I'm
the
not.
what does the
12-year-old
darts
is-
guy
that 12-year-old,
say?
all I can think of is a 12-year-old going.
What is the what?
What does that darts guy say? He's like, I can't see, I can't believe it.
Boom.
Oh, I can't.
You guys ever seen the guy? I
showed
showed you this recently. I don't know what his name is, but there's a guy who wears a gold shirt with a little patch over his nipple, and he
Oh yeah.
he gets a perfect score and then turns around and flips the patch up, and then bounces
Shows-
his pec. So his nipple jumps up and down, closes it, doesn't say anything about it, keeps going. Next
celebration.
round. On to the next round. That's it.
That is unbelievable.
You can look it up. Just
That
look up
is
like
unreal.
darts nipple guy.
Darts.
Guarantee you
nipple
it shows
guy.
up.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
necessarily want to search
Delete
that
your
one.
search history after that.
Oh my god.
Okay, but anyways, yeah, Stanford lost, and I was pretty upset, and I do think it's kind of cool because Stanford's getting a lot of attention for being good at basketball, and we should have won that game. It was a bad call, foul. People keep saying it was a 1-point game. I don't know what that means, but I assume it means that we were really close to winning. And I hope that we get to go back next year and show
Take down the
who's boss.
Jayhawks.
Show them who's boss.
Show them who's boss, baby. You know, I think it's crazy to me that in college basketball, if you just you could be the worst team in the world and you win your conference championship, and you go, for example, Long Beach State before the conference tournament fired their coach because of how bad their season was.
That's awesome.
And then he won the conference tournament and went to the
Wait, the team won or the coach won?
the coach did the coach got fired and then he coached him through the rest of the season. That was his agreement. So even though he got fired, he kept coaching. And then they won the conference tournament and went to March Madness.
Wow.
And then he was literally in the press conference after the game. He literally was like, you ever watch that episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza's sitting around at the Yankees office trying to get fired, doesn't know what to do, and they won't fire him? He's like, that's literally me right now. You can ask me whatever you want. I'm already fired.
I'm already fired.
That is so
They
funny.
win the conference championship, and the people that fired him were like, okay.
Okay, listen.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Let's have a conversation. Step into my office.
He's like, no,
There's
you
no-
said,
there's
you
no
said.
world where he stays.
No, absolutely
No
not.
world,
No,
yeah.
at that point, it's a pride thing.
He's like, have a good one. You guys have a good one. I'm gonna
signing out.
go paid $1 million.
I'm gonna go. I'm actually taking a job at a rival school,
Yeah.
Short Beach State.
Short Beach City.
Yeah. Well, anyways, March Madness is going on. There's officially 0 perfect brackets left, which is insane. Didn't even make it through
after
the
the first
It was the
two
last
game.
days.
Sports.
The last
love
game
it.
of the
I love
first
it.
round
I
is
love
whenever
sports.
so the perfect brackets lasted all the way to the 32nd game, which is kind of crazy. Usually it doesn't even last that long.
My bracket
Wow.
looks good.
Is that right?
How
What
good?
percentage are you at?
17, 14.
Real good.
Actually,
17,
Real good
14?
percentage.
I'm at 68%. So
Sports are so fun.
I think my
All right.
favorite thing about sports is how much they talk about Taylor Swift. That's the best part.
That is the best part.
Yep. I love
I say
Taylor
something?
Swift. Taylor Swift listeners, we love you.
Can I
And
say
we love Taylor Swift. And Zion wants to say something.
This is just something, and I know we know a lot of people like this. I can't stand when people say, like, football season comes around,
Yep.
and then someone posts and is like, I love you. You know, you're my niece or my nephew or my friend, but don't plan your wedding on a football weekend.
Yeah.
I won't be there.
Yeah.
You suck.
That's outrageous.
That is normal.
No, I mean,
yes.
just like that behavior is
That behavior right there,
outrageous and unwarranted.
dude. It's the same energy. If you pull up a game and you have to watch the game on your phone, Steven's done this. You are an iPad kid, bro. You can't go somewhere and just not watch a game, or be like at a restaurant. You got to prop it up on the salt thing, and you just gotta watch, bro. You have a problem.
My friend from high school, Cameron,
Here you go.
got married last week, and shout out Cameron.
Shout out Cameron.
Cameron.
Congrats on your marriage.
Cameron.
Cameron. I won't say who because well, we all went to high school together, and I just don't want to dog on him like that. But someone was watching a game during the ceremony, and it was an unplugged ceremony. So it's like phones are just not even supposed to be out anyways, and they're just like
Tough.
It's like, and you may now kiss the bride. Literally, it was like we're all in the chairs, and they were aisle seat in plain view of everyone, just like.
That's really tough. If people
And you
can
may
see
now
it.
kiss the bride.
They're gonna look back at their wedding.
their
wedding photos.
Zion, I know your words hold weight, but you doom scroll on full
I was about
volume
to
in the
say
green
you
room.
can't say that crap because of how much Instagram reels I've
true.
heard you listen to on full blast.
That's true.
In common spaces.
That's good.
I also was your roommate, so like
Yeah.
that's
That's
I have a bias.
It's different. I'm getting better. And 2, it's not a wedding, and I'm not.
I would never watch that at a wedding.
Yeah, you actually can't say that.
Actually,
You can't say that
actually-
actually because at Whit Harrelson's wedding, while we were taking pictures as groomsmen, you were watching Man City play.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Would you say?
That was the Champions League final.
Oh,
Here come the excuses.
Oh, here's
That's
also
also
why
why
we
we're taking.
Here's the excuse.
That's why we're
I would
taking-
never do that. One example. Well, that one matters.
It
Bro.
was like
Bro,
while
you-
we're
bro.
taking pictures. It wasn't a ceremony.
Bro,
I actually didn't
Steven
watch it
Sports.
during the ceremony.
you're taking pictures of a memory, right?
Yep.
That, bro, come on.
The bird.
I'm never on my phone like in a setting like that, or like at a wedding or something like that. And I'm not like, hey, I'm gonna miss your wedding because I want to be at home watching YouTube videos or Instagram.
That's fair.
So I'm saying it's not.
I
the
will
same
say,
behavior.
while we were taking pictures at my wedding, you definitely looked at your phone
I did
during that
not.
time.
Okay,
No,
we
we did. I
gotta
did not.
wrap because y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta
We do
go
have to leave.
rehearse.
Oh yeah, it's 3:30
Set up.
already.
What is happening right now?
Look at Jake for
Put your microphone I love my phone.
Oh man, Sober by Childish Gambino just came out. I'm not gonna lie, the whole secret segment we've been listening to house music.
Oh, this
you
is
don't
awesome.
know
Are you
that.
serious?
Yeah,
I just think that behavior is ridiculous.
I agree.
I agree.
And I will say, now that you say it, I'm kind of embarrassed about that. I'm really
It's
sorry with
the birth of Steven's first child. He's like, but.
Oh no, City! Sanford's playing the Jayhawks.
Hey, to this point, while Myers was being birthed, was the day that Sanford was last in the NCAA
Yeah.
tournament.
That really
March
And it was
16th,
on
the
the
year
TV.
2000.
It was
And my
on the
parent,
TV
my
when he
mom
was
was like
born.
in labor and they were watching Stanford play
They were
basketball.
watching Sanford lose to
Unacceptable.
Syracuse.
Okay, can I end on a 15-second bit?
Yep.
My friends Sterling and Sheridan that I went to college with.
Yeah.
They got married right after we graduated college, and then they had their first child recently. Shout out Sterling and Sheridan.
shout out,
You'll
shout
never
out.
watch this, but in case you do. So he texted the group chat of us that are all friends. Sterling did, and was like, "Hey, like Sheridan's going into labor. We're gonna have our baby today." And they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome." And then the next thing to come to the group chat was a picture of, and I'll try to send it to you. Maybe you can lay it over.
Okay.
Sheridan, Sterling's wife, in the hospital room, in labor, standing in front of the TV that they brought from their house,
Nice.
playing Fortnite.
Oh! I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be a game.
Nope.
Like a football game or
Fortnite.
something. Woo!
She called it dub.
I can't.
She got
I
it done.
can't
She's
believe
good.
that's
She's good
real.
for it. But
I can't believe
so,
that's
so
real.
the story goes like she's like,
Oh,
hey
Fortnite
Sterling,
kid,
my
next level Fortnite kid.
yeah, she's like Sterling, my water broke, and in a blind panic, it was like a couple of weeks early. So in a blind panic, he grabbed the TV and the Xbox, and just threw it in the car. That's the story. I'm not justifying it.
No.
That's the story I received.
That is not something that's possible to do in a blind
No,
panic.
I'm saying the story.
He's like, hey, your house is burning down.
I'm not justifying it.
Your house is burning down. You can grab two things. He says TV, Xbox.
The story you heard is a lie, bro.
No, I know.
Because here's what I'm saying. Anytime I freaking packed up my Xbox to go somewhere, it is literally like I'm like
There's like
unraveling
18
cables.
cables.
I'm, like, tightening up,
Tear apart
and
the
I'm, like,
setup.
I got dust all over me, and I'm
Oh
like,
wow, you've taken your Xbox out inside your home. You play video games on family vacation. You show them a present. Oh,
Okay.
All right, guys,
Crazy.
let's reel it in.
at least I wasn't watching a freaking soccer game at Whit's wedding.
We gotta turn this off.
Okay. Hey guys, Whit, I love you. I'm sorry. We love you. This has been amazing. I hope you've enjoyed the secret segment. We're ending the podcast right now.